You're listening to Jump on the Bat-Wagon, hosted by the Watchtower Database. Visit WDB on YouTube for video essays, timelines, fan theories, and much more from the DC animated universe. And now, please enjoy the show. How many baseball games do you think you've been to in your life?
Like big league baseball games, or just
not like school baseball games, but little, big boy baseball.
Only a handful. I probably went to like 3 or 4 Red Sox games.
Okay. I've been to a bunch of Seattle Mariners games, and there was the opportunity to go to one next Monday, but it's going to be way too much money and gas and all that, and I'm not going to do that now. I'm kind of bummed about it, so make me happy, please.
Okay, I got you. We no longer have to worry about capitalism because we live in an authoritarianism now.
Oh, yeah. That's
fucking cool. Capitalism's dead.
That's really cool, man. Hooray.
The rich are only going to get richer, and everyone's really starting to suffer. And
I like that.
That's cool.
For personally.
Yeah. Do you actually want me to try to cheer you up? Hold on. I'm sure I've got something.
You just look around the room, find something good. Oh, there's a Bubs. There's a watchtowerdatabase.com/resources right in his lap at this time. I can't see his head though.
Yeah, he's kind of put his head under the desk.
He's tucked away.
It's very cute.
It is cute. He's like a little ostrich, but a dog.
I got good news.
Okay. Was it ostrich adjacent? Wink. I need a little ding sound on the soundboard for whenever we say adjacent. Why haven't I done that? Anyway.
I love that idea. Today is our, as in your and mine and Dylan Pollock's own Vitz. AKA David Horvitz.
A weird way to say that, but yeah.
Today
is his birthday. Yeah.
Like
today,
not the day the
4 days ago.
podcast came out. Yeah. But that's a big deal.
You have some special preparation.
Yeah. I thought, because, we'll generally do like a happy birthday thing. Because that's like what you do, right? You sing happy birthday to people, and like Vitz is certainly like surprised. I mean, speaking of like Seattle, like drove down from Seattle to see our live podcast.
Yeah, he did.
And so I think we should put in a little something extra to sing him happy birthday. Are you down for this? I know I haven't told you.
Depends on what I have to do.
All you have to do is sing happy birthday.
Okay. In any key, any rhythm, any notes.
The thing is,
happy birthday. Oh,
we take off or mute our headphones.
Shirts. Oh,
that too, and we sing happy birthday in whatever key and whatever tempo we decide is correct.
Okay,
and then we just see what that sounds like.
Do we even look? We don't look at each other either.
Yeah, no.
Okay, that would give it away. I think. Yeah,
that would give it away.
Okay,
I'd like to say like 3, 2, 1. But like that would maybe like instill a false tempo.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I don't know how to do that.
We'll both take our headphones off, and I'll hit as just the kind of the general go.
I won't be able to hear it with my headphones off.
Oh, you're right. That does how that works, huh? That does how that works.
That does how that works.
I don't know. You could give a visual cue. This is taking way too long to prep
we can just
for
like 3, 2, 1, and I'll do it like faster than the tempo like should be, and then hopefully that'll throw us off.
Sure.
Okay, are you ready?
Okay.
And are we just saying Vitz? Does it matter? Are we saying David?
I like Vitz.
Vitz. Okay, we'll at least do that together. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vitz. Happy birthday to you. Oh.
And many more. And Scooby-Doo on Channel 2.
Wow. Just like start those at the same time.
At the same time,
we'll
but wherever they go, yeah.
I think you went significantly slower than I did. I didn't try to go fast.
I was going to do happy birthday to you, just the whole time. But then I thought, oh, he might do that. So I just still like, hey, grandma, here's your birthday song.
I think, what do I think?
I don't know. We think happy birthday, Vitz.
I think happy birthday, Vitz. Yeah.
And we did it on your actual birthday. We sang that just now.
Yeah.
So you be proud of us.
I also
send us money.
encourage the listener to sing along as well. So go back and sing along in your own time.
Rewind, hear that, whatever that was again. You would definitely want to hear a second time.
Yeah.
And then sing your own and record it and send it to us, and we'll retroactively edit it into the podcast for future. The version you're hearing right now, listener, is V1 of this episode that'll be replaced every week.
Can you do that?
You can do that on the podcast apps, but not on YouTube. So I'm just going to say, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Fair deal.
It is possible. That would be kind of a cool experiment. You only get one shot at listening to the podcast the way it came out, like the first time, and then it just changes every time.
Dungeons and Daddies did that.
Well, I guess I'm not original. Of course, they did something before me.
Yeah. It was with some. I wish I could remember the exact instance.
Star Wars Episode 3 came back to theaters. I saw it with John, who's been on this podcast for Critters.
Did you do the thing?
What was the thing that we were supposed to do? Did you get
like the printouts of John's original cartoon?
Oh, yes. I forgot we talked about that off the air. John had, or maybe I mentioned it on the podcast briefly, but yeah, John had drawn he's a huge Star Wars fan. I don't know if we said that on the Critters episode, but he'd drawn a comic version of the entire plot of the movie in movie in 5 seconds style or whatever. And it's just like 12 panels of the entire plot of the film, because he was so into Star Wars in 8th grade that he decided to play the video game before seeing the movie, and he knew everything that was going to happen. And
it's weird that they released a video game with the plot before the movie.
They did that all the fucking time back then, and in the controversial Airdate order and of Star Wars. We were supposed to go with our friend Will as well, and he did not come. He didn't want to drive a couple hours to do it, but the three of us had seen it 20 years ago on the opening weekend. I know. So I photoshopped a junior year of high school picture of him into a selfie John and I took, and be like, so glad all three of us could make it to the premiere. It's whatever. Well, greeting Vitz, and welcome to episode 164 of Jump on the Bat-Wagon. It's a big number.
That's a big number, but they will all be after this point and
that's
pointing
true. They
before
just
that.
Get bigger, yeah.
Honestly, past 40, it seemed like it was a lot.
Yeah, I was like, please stop. I'm James from the Watchtower Database YouTube channel. I'm here to show my good buddy Brian.
Database YouTube channel. I'm here to show my good buddy Brian. That's me.
What are you going to show me?
Don't.
Look at this. What are you going to show me?
I'm going to show you this bub.
I see the bubs. Up. Yeah, I see his head now. He's done ostriching. The entire DC animated universe from start to finish for the very first time in the controversial Airdate order of Star Wars. So he may view these shows the way human beings experienced them in the far gone days of the 1900s. Are you trying to do that chicken neck thing with him? It's not
he does working. Do that.
Oh, he's a gyro bubs.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's real bad at it.
He's looking out the window. Here.
Stop showing me his private parts. What are you doing?
He's trying to look out the window. I just need to give him a lift. Just don't look.
Oh, I can't not. That's all that's in the webcam.
That's not true.
Stop. No, it mostly is.
He's yawning. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Today we're watching the Superman the Animated Series episode, A Fish Story, which after some coaxing you correctly guessed was about Aquaman.
Yeah.
And I don't think we guessed a plot at all. Aquaman. Plot of any kind. It was just Aquaman was there, and he'll be doing something. I said it was a bad guy that we've had before, but you didn't want to. You want to guess who the bad guy is? Nope.
Clayface.
That was your one guess. At the time of this recording,
1:53 p.m.
It's not a face. I mean, he has a face.
Two-head.
Is it he? Double head. Triple head. STAS is streaming on Max and available on DVD and Blu-ray. And if you'd like to follow along, you can head over to watchtowerdatabase.com/resources. Link is in the show notes. Has he left the room?
Yeah.
Oh, man. This first aired Saturday, May 8th, 1999 at 8 or 8:30 a.m. ? This was I'll check the spreadsheet. This is the only episode in the entire DCAU I couldn't pin down which half hour of the day it aired in.
Really?
On Kids WB. There's a programming block, The New Batman Superman Adventures.
Yeah.
And there's an episode at 8, there's an episode at 8:30. Every other one I was able to figure out exactly which order they happened in. This one I have no idea. It's one of those two. And you're just like casually Googling it, you bitch, it's not going to work.
No, I'm not. I'm adjusting levels, but don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. Now I have to adjust levels in post-production as well.
No, I'm adjusting your level in my ears.
Oh, was I too quiet?
Anything. Yeah, or I was too loud, but I didn't want to adjust my microphone feed.
Thank you.
So you wouldn't have to adjust things, and do the like.
You just think of me too much.
Think of me.
It's a little weird.
Think of me too much. It's a little weird.
Happy birthday. Oh. This was 1 week after our last episode, Spellbound. This aired number 50. 1 week since our last episode, Spellbound. This aired number 50 and produced 54. Fits. The final episode. This is the final produced episode of Superman the Animated Series. This is.
Oh, weird. Okay. This better be a good one. Wait,
but not the final
did
aired.
It start with the Flash one was pretty early on.
Yeah, it was episode
100
of the podcast, so it was within the first 20 episodes of Superman or something.
Oh, I thought it was in the first 3, but I guess parts 1 through 3 were the first 3.
Yes, they were. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about that a little bit, that Green Lantern wasn't that long ago, Aquaman's now, but Dr. Fate and Flash showed up pretty early and just kind of, they're never ever anywhere when you need them.
Everyone's just like, man, this S-Task thing's really not working out. Throw another superhero at it. Surely it'll stick.
We'll talk a little bit about that, actually.
Oh, okay.
Buy us a coffee first, though. You can head over to the link in the description to send us a Yoppie beverage and support the show.
I don't even drink coffee.
I know. I should say buy us a Yoppie bev or something. I don't know.
I mean, it works with the thing. Also,
it's called the website's that.
It's the website. But also, why did they do KO-FI?
I know
I think we've talked about this.
We have. We've talked about everything, and we should just stop now.
Okay.
There's no point.
Bye, listener.
Aquaman. That's all we'll say about this episode. We'll come back from the clip and just say Aquaman.
And
just go away. We won't remember to do that. And we'll give you a shout out in an upcoming episode, and we'll plug your shit. Mm-hmm. And we'll also do a push up for every $1. So send us coffee for our health and your entertainment. And I do want to mention there are now monthly memberships on the Buy Me a Coffee page. You can support us, the Yoppie Dudes, on a monthly basis, $2, $5, or $10. There's different levels. The $2 is Dear Listener. The $5 is Yoppie Dude. The $10 is Dylan Pollock. You get to pick who you are, what you want to be. Right now, they're all the same. It's the same stuff of you get to support us, which we're very thankful for. You get a shout out here when you donate, and you get access to our VIP Discord channel, which up until now has been only accessible by Patreon people. But if you become a member over here, you can also be in there and talk to us about secret stuff.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
Not
me.
Well, it's maybe someday when we're all done with this and we can say everything ever to Brian. You spoil everything because everything's already spoiled.
We're trying to figure out a way to make Hangouts or whatever happen.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to say. We're trying to add to this the benefits. We want to hear from you what you would like, things that you would like to see on here. What would be enticing to you at a membership level on Buy Me a Coffee? Because we could very easily just put a bunch of oh my gosh, we'll post this and we'll do this and we'll have Hangouts and we'll play games and blah, blah. But when we do that in the past on Patreon, typically we have that worked and those 3 things didn't. And then this worked and those 5 things didn't. Nobody cared about that stuff. Everyone cared about this thing that we didn't expect. So please tell us.
Yeah, what
your
would you
ideas.
pay $5 a month for and what would you pay $10 a month for? Think of this as your free podcast, but now with tariffs. That's cool.
Exactly. Why are we doing this?
We're just rolling with the times.
Capitalism is dead. Hooray. Buy me a coffee. Today's Yoppie Bevs, on that note, come to us from Eric LeBeau, who sent 2 Yoppie Bevs.
Thanks, buddy.
He says, I thought I'd toss a couple Yoppie Bevs my boys' way. I don't have too much to plug other than my Twitter, @crowscalling_. The underscore's at the end. Where I mostly, it's not the word underscore, I think everyone gets it, where I mostly post just memes and other dumb shit with my friends, as well as talk briefly and in depth about whatever I'm feeling or watching. I don't know how that happened. / reading at the moment, including Sailor Moon. That's been on hold, though, because I'm currently starting to read through One Piece, reading at least 7 chapters a day in hopes to be caught up to the over 1,100 chapters by September in time for my first trip to Japan. Until next time, keep calm and yap on.
I want to go to Japan.
Thank you, Eric. Me too. And so does my wife real bad. And hopefully by the time she gets to why we're listening to this episode, we've been. And if we hadn't, that's sad.
You're never going to go.
Yeah, we're just never going to go. Let's go do push-ups.
Let's do 10 push-ups.
10 push-ups. Okay.
Okay. Birthday push-ups.
Birthday fits.
1,
Fits.
2,
Fits.
3,
Fits.
4,
Fits.
5,
Fits.
6,
Fits.
7,
Fits.
8,
Fits.
9,
Fits.
10.
Vits.
That really threw me off. If you go back and listen to it, you're like, I went to say 1 and you said Vits and my brain stopped working and I was just like,
I had to picture like visual numbers in my head on the ground in front of me, or else I was going to lose track of how many Vitses there were.
Well, that's
autism.
I also figured that like, counting might help. So that's where I about 3, I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick with this counting thing.
You know what might make it easy to keep track of how many push-ups I'm doing is to count them. That'll work.
Crazy Aquaman.
Let's go Aquaman now. Aquaman ho.
Oh.
Aquaman, huh?
Something wrong?
No, it's just that I always thought you were an urban legend.
Nothing urban about me.
So, you gonna tell me what's going on?
Some of your people,
My people.
surface dwellers, they're about to cause the death of millions. I have to stop them.
What else was I supposed to do? I had to take her.
Idiot! Having Lois Lane is an open invitation for Superman to stick his nose into your business. Get rid of them both, now!
But I was hoping to observe the creature in captivity.
You're the one who's going to be in captivity unless you do what I say.
Change of plans. Take the next cutoff.
Aquaman.
I was going to do it, but I was doing the clap and then hands out like Aquaman. That means lower the boats. Lower boats back into water. The infamous signal.
That was an experience. I found myself upset. I found myself giggling at the show. I found myself giggling at only things that Lois did or said.
With the show, with the Lois. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. How do you feel about that?
Well, I first feel like I should tell you that the last time we saw Lex Luthor was on April 19th, 2024. Just over a year ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He made like a little like cartoony cameo on Bizarro's TV when Mix Yespitlick's like, look how they laugh at you. Otherwise, we haven't seen him since Prototype, which was the...
Wait.
Yeah.
So we saw him... When was the Prototype was the last time we saw him in the DCAU?
He also made a cameo in Apocalypse Now, just sitting in his office watching Darkseid on a TV for like 2 shots. He doesn't say anything. But other than that, yeah, the last time he was in an episode doing something was Prototype. Police costume that drives the guy crazy. That was so long ago.
Oh my fucking God.
We've been asking for a while, like, what the fuck happened to Lex? And then you said that right before this episode. Where is he? And then he showed up. Oh, shit. But yeah, please tell me what happened in a fish story.
Synup, if you're wondering, Synup, what you just watched. Synup, take a listen to the synopsis, the short summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
Fish. What are you doing?
Puppy hand licking ASMR.
Sounds like fish. All right. That's what happened in a fish story?
Yeah, pretty fucking much. Okay, I'm going to give you the TLDR.
Please do.
Aquaman.
The end.
Aquaman has been captured by Lex Luthor and his cronies somehow. Aquaman has been captured by Lex and his cronies somehow. Did we get that? Or
nope.
he's just in a tube?
They just have him. Yeah,
he's in a tube, beating up the tube. Fish are acting all wonky, and Superman, Lois is like trying to get to the bottom of it, and Superman is there to run support and
float support.
There's a big battle in the sea when Aquaman calls his people, and they
I can't wait to keep calling him that for a long time.
UHKWAYMEN.
Aquaman.
So it turns out that the Aquaman's people, he's a king, by the way, are tired of the ocean being mistreated, and they're willing to kill for it. And Lois doesn't want them to blow up Lex Luthor's ship for some reason, even though he's like blowing up the ocean.
It's attacking humans in general, I guess. Start a war or some shit. But yeah, it was Lex Luthor's boat full of bad people. So
yeah, and she's like, no. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Lex gets away in a helicopter.
The official synopsis is when marine life in Metropolis threaten. Sorry, this is exactly what it says. When marine life in Metropolis threaten the citizens. I guess that's right. Life is plural. I don't know. Lois Lane discovers it because Lex Luthor has taken Aquaman as a prisoner.
Great.
Yeah, they just have him. They were like...
They just took him.
They just took him. I assume it's supposed to be, we gotta get Aquaman out of the way because... What were they doing? I never quite figured that out. They were drilling.
They had ships. They had bombs. They were like drilling into the ocean floor.
Because. I realized as we were starting it that I didn't tell you any of the credits of this episode, the like writer director shit.
Oh,
I will tell you it now.
Or do you want to put
it's Hilary J. Bader and Rich Fogel that wrote it. I'm putting it now. It's directed by Shinichi Tsuji, who previously directed Little Big Head Man. Lex Luthor's last appearance. Music is Lolita Ridmanis, and animation is our old friends Group Tac Co. Ltd. And Jade Animation. And that was the main takeaway, I think, from the episode. I mean, the story kind of lame, whatever, but the animation
story
so bad.
Was terrible. The animation was some of the worst we've seen.
I apologized to you mid-episode and said,
we gotta
watch all of them. Yeah, it's just part of it. It's just how it goes.
Wow, dude. Yeah.
I wish that it had more good anything, because being the Aquaman, I'm just going to say Aquaman. I can't quite. I have to think so hard every time. Being the Aquaman episode, whenever I go to like pull clips of Aquaman from Superman the Animated Series,
you don't look at this episode.
Have nothing to pull from this because the only like hero shot of him really is
him doing his like salute.
Yeah, his weird hand salute, or floating away on a shark fin, or being
he like
in a
grabs
tube.
the shark fin and like dons this weird never changing expression and then just whoosh out of screen.
That was weird. Right after Lois said like, what happened to the guys? And Superman's like, I squeezed it out of them. And then he looks over as if we're gonna cut to the guys, and it cuts to Aquaman looking at him.
Zooming away on a shark fin.
It was a very strange
Also, while we're talking about that scene specifically, I love the Superman, like, I thought I heard gunfire, and he like hovers himself down just kind of over like the heads of these dudes,
pointing his toes up like
feet
are pointed all over your
that's
direction.
How he flaps his feet.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he like hovers down, and the dudes are like, Superman, or whatever they say, who fucking cares? They're like, Superman, shoot him. And then they just like spend a solid like literal 10 seconds just pew 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 pew,
and it's all bouncing off of him constantly.
Superman is not moving. The guys are not moving other than their fingers. And then it cuts to a second angle.
And the music's going all haywire like it's the coolest thing ever.
And then Superman slowly reaches for the guns. And then, as Alora said, he like Play-Dohs the guns, or like she didn't know the guns. What'd she say? Like, I didn't know the guns are made of Play-Doh. And he just like slowly squishes them around their hands. And even while he's slowly squishing the guns around their hands,
and then they go,
suddenly,
and then fall on the ground.
By shot 6, they should have realized that it wasn't going to do anything to Superman.
Yeah.
But you know what they did, Jamie? Do you want to take a shot at it? Yeah,
like
you know what they do.
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be one of those like, oh shit, yeah, get it, Superman, you can't be stopped. He's so cool. And it was just animated so poorly and timed, like paced so poorly in the moment that it was just like, please stop.
Yeah, you know what that has? It's supposed to have the energy of something cool. Instead, it has the energy of like annoyed uncle at the summer family cookout getting sprayed by the kids with their tiny squirt guns. And he's just like totally over it, but he's not reacting at all. He's just got like an annoyed expression and they're just squirt, 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 squirt.
Yeah, they're just going to do this.
Yeah, Superman's sitting there.
Can't really stop them. Let them have their fun, I guess.
Yeah, dude, there is so much bad animation and there's so many weird choices made in this episode. I loved that Aquaman in the inside the like paddy wagon sort of thing.
Yeah, and his like side profile from a distance.
If it's like a close up of his face, he looks normal. It cuts to the side of him talking, and it's so reminiscent of South Park animating like they're like Canadians.
Flaps. Yeah.
My God.
That happened with every character pretty much. If there was like a decent like waist up or closer shot of a character, they look pretty fine, like not great, but passable. And then anything further away than that, it was just like, what am I looking at? Their mouth was just going ba 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 ba. There was a shot of Lois at the very start on Bibbo's boat that tipped me off to, because I was thinking like, oh yeah, I forgot this is a group tech whatever episode, and I was like, but you know, so far it's fine. And then Lois gets like knocked to the ground on the boat. And I think it's like, so when I edit Jordan's breaking news, Batman Beyond AI newscaster head, it's on this like, I don't know, it detects like the syllable he's saying. And I've created each different like mouth flap shape per syllable. And then it automates whatever it thinks he's doing. I go clean it up. It does a pretty good job. It looked to me, obviously, that this technology wouldn't have existed at the time, but it looked like they set Lois's mouth on like randomize because she says some line to Bibbo, but her mouth is just going like ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, and it's not matching anything she's saying. And then I was just meticulously watching everyone's mouths for the rest of the episode. Yeah. And yeah, there was plenty of shots where that was happening with everybody. And you're talking about the side profile thing too. When they cut back into the boat, Lex Luthor's boat near the end, and he's standing there with his hands behind his back, all Luthor-y, looking at screens, and then his chin is just like crimson chin length sticking out as he's talking, and I'm like, nope, that's not what he looks like from the side, but all right. Whoever drew this shot, that was so good. The actual like funny moments that I assume were supposed to be funny, Superman bursting through the ceiling, and then
God,
the captain of the ship doesn't say anything about like,
nobody
hey,
reacts.
You ruined my goddamn ship. He just goes like, you don't give the orders around here. I do. I am the captain. And then Superman goes, and leaves and bursts out a different hole in the ceiling. Like makes a second hole. Like,
falling.
Damn it. Yeah. Nobody cares. Yeah.
Yeah. No reaction whatsoever. Not from Lex.
Welcome
not from
back,
the captain.
Lex Luthor.
Yeah. I think, ooh, God, is it Freakazoid that like someone like leaves?
We need to watch
or maybe
more
it's
Freakazoid.
no. It's really, really big man from Rocco, and he's always just like busting through walls and stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, they did that in an earlier Superman when they first discovered the Phantom Zone projector in his little baby ship, and Hamilton's like, oh, look inside here. Speaking of characters we haven't seen in a long time, I let a monster out on accident, and the monster like bursts through a hole in the ceiling, and then Superman chases after it, and then when they come back to the lab, they burst through a second hole in the ceiling.
Yeah.
But that was like, we talked to Dan about that. That's, of course, it's like a purposeful thing. I don't know if that was on purpose in this episode. It just felt like they like forgot. How does Superman leave? I don't know. Fucking just leave. Like, it doesn't matter.
And the thing is, the entry, he busts through the metal surround of the ship with Lois in his arms.
Yeah,
like
in front of him. Yeah, Hope you can take the brunt of this. I broke every bone in your body. Shit.
He just immediately turns to soup.
Yeah. Well, I guess toss her in the water. The sharks will eat the chum that was Lois Lane.
We're gonna Lois the waters.
Yeah. Speaking of the shark, I thought that was pretty funny whenever it comes up behind her, opens its mouth, and then like seemingly eats her. You said cut to credits, and then that's exactly where it like faded to the commercial break.
Yeah.
So it was just like, oh, that was the end. But then I also just thought of the Finding Nemo, like the albatross being like, or whatever it is, the pelican being like, get inside my mouth if you want to live. Like, as if that comes up and tells that to Lois.
There's a couple of those weird things, man. Like the great white like chomps over Lois.
And then, he was just biting her collar or something.
Yeah, he chomped over the back of her shirt to hold her. Yeah. But similarly, we had something like that at the beginning. What was it? Oh, that just like tickled my brain in a weird way.
You may be thinking
it was the killer whale battle with Superman. And it's just like the perspective kept getting off, where it was like,
how big are the whales? How fast
is it gonna hit him? Did he get out of the way? And that fucking shot where Superman like zooms out of the ocean, and then the killer whales also zoom out of the ocean, and he just barely dodges as they slam their faces together.
Yeah,
which if he didn't get out of the way, they still would have done that. There would have just also been a person in the way.
Yeah.
What the no, that's
I'm
dumb.
glad you think of Superman as a person. That makes me happy. I think I was also thinking
humanoid.
Of another. He's not urban.
Oh my god,
that was one of the better.
Please tell me
lines.
The internet has a fucking field day with that one.
I don't know. I didn't remember he said it. I thought you were just an urban legend. Nothing urban about me. And then,
he goes over. He goes over and he grabs some mayonnaise and slaps it on some Wonder Bread, and he puts one single slice of bologna down, and then one single slice of American cheese.
When he's in the truck, I was like, because I thought, like the women tend to have like fairer skin tones in this series. And I was like, okay, didn't think anything of it. And then when those guys open the back to Aquaman, yes, we're here at the dump or whatever, they're like so orange compared, like he almost looks purple compared to them. And I was like, oh, is that on purpose? Because he's like from the water. Like I don't quite get it, but instead he was just. I don't know how far two white guys can go with this.
Yeah. Maybe
we've said our piece. That was something that I thought of in general was like, is Brian going to have a problem with the seagulls because they are not fish?
Yeah.
And then he immediately after that explains when they're on the motorcycle, like, I can communicate with marine life telepathically. And it's like, that was really pushing it, man.
It was like, I think he said like ocean. Did he say marine life? Because it was like the vaguest of explanations that could possibly include a seagull. Bro, it's like he's like, I can communicate with fish and underwater creatures, also like this one flock of seagulls.
Yeah. Well, it could be any flock of seagulls, even the band. It could communicate with just them.
That would be fucking incredible.
If you name your band after marine life, then who else does that cover? What other
I know, I'm trying to
bands
think of it. I know there's some real low-hanging fruit like Ocean Beach Boys.
Oh, there you go.
One moment, please.
Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh, my God. Not Hootie. Aquaman, leave Hootie.
Fucking fish with a PH. Duh.
Oh, fish. God damn.
Aquaman can only talk to fish. It's
just
a
Phil
very
Lesh.
Specific power that I have.
Phil Lesh being like, what? Oh, wait, no, not Phil Lesh. Hold on. Trey Anastasio is what I meant to say. Phil Lesh, I think, is Grateful Dead. Trey Anastasio being like, What's that, Aquaman? You want me to play what song?
Yeah,
play Freebird. That's not our song, Aquaman. I'm noticing a trend here.
Okay.
Okay, so you were saying fish, right? Fish, something that
band.
Trey Anastasio, the guitarist for Fish, also guitarist for this band called Oysterhead that he's in with Les Claypool from Primus, which is great.
And he has pool in his name.
And pool, but like it's an aquatic theme with Trey Anastasio's band.
I guess so. Yeah.
Oysterhead, Fish. There's probably another one.
I don't care. It's unfortunate that what was your opinion of Aquaman prior to this episode? Did you have one at all?
No.
What did you know about him, or like from pop culture or anything?
I knew that there was some show, it might have been like Robot Chicken or something like that, that was making fun of Aquaman because like his power is like, oh, he can talk to fish.
Talk to Fish, yeah.
The
band.
Which I didn't.
That's what I'll think of for the rest of my life.
I love that. Which I thought like surely he had some other like, oh, he can like fly underwater. We get a clip in this show of him kicking his feet. He's just swimming.
He just swims. Yeah.
He can literally only telepathically talk to fish.
Well, he does.
Plus, he has a submarine.
He does have. Yeah, he does have the army of Atlantis at his back,
and also the world's most escapable trident. Can we talk about that?
Where did he get that?
Where did he get that? Where did it shoot from? He flung it in Lex's direction, and it pinned Lex against the hull.
And then through the wall. He doesn't have X-ray vision to know where that was going to go.
Yeah. Nope, but he nailed it. Yeah. And then the next shot is just Lex rubbing his wrists. Like, boy, that hurt a little bit.
Sure stung, yeah.
So that didn't pin him to the wall. It just kind of like... It just gave him an ouchie on his wrist.
I got a boo-boo from Aquaman. He threw his trident.
There it is.
When Aquaman throws his trusty trident or whatever. Captain America.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to make that happen too, but it's not working.
Presumably... Because they're fighting guys underwater. Superman grabs the drill, and the drill itself, the machinery starts reversing like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon.
It is absolutely Looney Tunes. I also need to go back a quick second because we have Superman flying in the water, like he's going like faster than a swim pace, and we know Superman is not slow. However, this drill machine is slow, so we get Superman darting off to do something, and then he is stopped by the point of this drill bit, and this thing is going at best at a walking pace. It is on the bottom of the ocean floor, just like meandering along, just whistling, and Superman is like, he's rendered useless by this slow moving drill. What the fuck is that? And then it catches him, it pins him against the wall. Big problems. No, he just grabs the drill bit. So it wasn't a problem in the first place? The thing spins itself to death?
The pointiest part hurt slightly, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. What I was going to say was they're underwater fighting, and then it cuts away after Aquaman sicks some eels on the thing and squid or something.
World's biggest electric eels.
Yeah.
Those things must have been 100 feet long.
Well, I mean, the next shot showed Aquaman being titty twisted by that machine, and I was like, oh, compared to that machine, he's maybe like a 20th of its size. So yeah, those eels are a good like 50 feet long or something. Yeah. And then they also like do like live wire style electricity to the ship. Like that's not how electric eels do, but that's not how electric eels work. But to my knowledge anyway, that's not how electric eels work.
Thank you for being inside my head.
But anyway, all of that happens. And then presumably when it cuts away, the forces of Atlantis show up and hand Aquaman a trident, and then he throws it.
No, because they handed him the trident after a trident had already been.
But like if we're trying to defend who threw that trident through the boat, it's like Aquaman. You saw a shot of Lois about to be thrown off the edge, and then Aquaman on a big squid like bursts out of the water. then it cuts back to inside the ship, and that's when the trident comes through. So, but you didn't see Aquaman come up, so I guess he was holding the trident when he came up. But then when it cuts back to outside, Lois Lane is standing on the squid with Aquaman, and she was previously on the boat, so I don't know how she got there.
Didn't it grabbed? Oh no, she's on like Lex's boat. Because there's a bit where it wraps its tentacle around the two of them.
Was, he didn't tell me where to put you and was going to throw her in the water. And then in the next, when it cuts back to outside, she's just on the squid.
It's impossible to know.
we can't possibly go back and see, and we're not going to.
Yeah, I know.
The reason I asked about your opinion of Aquaman prior to this was because, hey, Bubs, he's sleeping on your wrist.
He really is.
Was because it's very unfortunate how awful this episode is in general. It didn't have to be Aquaman to be bad. Like, it was just a bad episode. Yeah. But the fact that it's attached to Aquaman just furthers the, like, Aquaman dumb and stupid and bad, even though, like, he can be very cool in the comics and spoilers later stuff we see. But I just don't know why this episode is what it is.
It's just very bad. That's all.
I like that it at least sort of opens up the world a little bit with like, hey, Atlantis is real and there's guys with tridents.
Atlantis
and
is real and they have massive submarines and guns and are willing to sink ships on behalf of protecting the ocean. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Also,
and they just waited till now.
You and Alora didn't remember this, but I would be remiss not to mention the whole killer whales sinking billionaires' yachts comparison.
You said, "What is Lois a billionaire?" and stared at me with a big grin, and I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about.
Yeah,
I never saw that. Apparently, I'm sorry,
but someone out there knows. Okay. Someone out there, so that's why I had to say it because someone. Not
Bibbo
for you.
Never got his soda. That's
true.
That's the worst part of this episode.
Poor Bibbo.
Here's the cast of the episode. It's Tim Daly as
really
Superman / Clark Kent.
Let's just move on.
I know you never do. Dana Delaney as Lois Lane. Miguel Ferrer as Aquaman. He was previously Dessine in Warrior Queen, who was the bad guy on Maxima's planet with the big pointy Jack Kirby helmet thing.
Yep.
And the Weather Wizard in Speed Demons.
Oh, sick.
So he's just been here a little while.
Weather
Clancy
Wizard.
Brown as Lex Luthor.
Who crashed their car in that episode?
Weather Wizard's younger dopey brother.
No, was it?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
There was like the blizzard.
Yeah. It was his younger brother with glasses. Oh, I got to get out of here. He's going to kill people. And then the Flash and Superman save the brother.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Car.
Thank you for that.
Why did you remember a car crashing specifically?
I don't know. It was a scene that stuck with me for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, it's fine. David Kaufman as Jimmy Olsen, really shittily driving a car in a parking lot.
Well, to be fair, his eyes and nobody's eyes went the same direction all the time.
To be fair, he was cross-eyed just like everyone else. Well, it's like...
God, that one scene of like Lois, like she like Aquaman said something and like one of her eyes like tilted kind of back towards him and then it went back to being like cross-eyed. Come on, you guys.
Yeah, some of the most basic stuff. I mean, I don't envy them having to draw like thousands of drawings, in
it's
a
also
row
their
for
careers,
this. But it's still,
though.
Yeah.
It's not like you're the one who's like in your free time doing this kind of art. That'd be like someone like picking on you for doing like bad editing in one of your videos. So be like, oh yeah, but think about how many hours it takes to edit that. Yeah, but it's your job.
Yeah.
You got to do it well. Yeah.
Well, here's a question from the episode. Is that really how those backwards parking lot spikes work? Will they pop your tires like that if you go the wrong way? Why?
So you don't.
Then
go
you've
the
got
wrong
a
way.
Car stuck there. What a cool thing that's helpful to anybody. I drove the wrong way. Fuck me, I guess.
Yep.
That's always been like on the same level as like quicksand and whatever else of, that's going to really be a problem for me in life because it's just in all of these cartoons all the time. But it's never I see it in parking structures, but I never thought that it was really going to like knife my tires. Because if you drive over it the right way, wouldn't you think that they must be engineered? Engineers are smarter than me.
They're like shaped kind of like a wave.
Yeah,
so like
but
you can
even
go
if you
this way, but you can't go this way.
Whatever. All right, science. Brad Garrett as Bibbo, Stuart Pankin as Dr. Cardi, main scientist man. He was previously the Condiment King in Make 'Em Laugh and Key Negotiator in Meltdown.
Keen negotiator?
Keen negotiator.
Nice.
John Rubino as Lexi Number 1. I guess that's the name of those guys that are motorcycle goon people. Lexi.
Pew, 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 pew,
yeah,
pew,
pew, pew, exactly. The pew pew guys, which I'm going to call him. Pew pew part 2. He was previously guard in Bizarro's World, gang member in Growing Pains, Houston Control in Brightest Day, and reporter in Rebirth Part 2. And then Billy West as Lexi Number 2.
Pew, 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 pew.
Previously Mo, Lair, and Kerr in Beware the Creeper, Joker's Three Stooges henchmen guys, but also, of course, all the Billy West things. Yeah. And I think he was also the Atlantean general man that walks up and Aquaman, we've done the thing, and then he says very good. It was just very Billy West trying so hard to be a gruff military voice, and it didn't work at all.
I'm a gruff military guy.
Good news, everyone.
Bad news.
All right, trivs for you.
Okay.
In the very beginning, when Jimmy Olsen drops his camera, the turtle that comes and grabs it and destroys it is clearly not a sea turtle, but a giant land tortoise, as noted by its arched bulbous shell and clawed round feet. Sea turtles have flatter, more hydrodynamic shells and flippers. What do you think about that?
Its hydrodynamic advantage. Its placoid scales give it hydrodynamic advantages in the sand.
I like turtles. At the end where Lex escapes in the helicopter, it's pure comic book fantasy, as modern helicopters take several minutes to power up from dead stop to be able to take off. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I guess I don't really care.
Work.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, whatever. It's pure comic book fantasy that Atlantis exists. Guys come out of the ground. Yeah.
There might be bigger trivs underwater men don't exist.
That's true. That we know of. When Aquaman's armada opens at Luthor's ship, there's a full screen frame of a fire explosion, which is reused footage from Where There's Smoke when Volcana blasts Superman with a fireball in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. Soon after, there's another explosion that's reused footage from the gas canisters that Superman ignites in The Way of All Flesh. Finally, when 2 crewmen jump overboard, there's another explosion that is reused footage from the explosion of Pa and Ma Kent's barn in New Kids in Town.
Wow.
At least they found a new explosion to use.
Why reinvent the wheel, you know?
It much like Superman flying through the metal top of the boat and a bunch of wood falling. When the guys jump off the boat, Pa and Ma Kent's wooden barn explodes. All right, this is close enough.
Do you see it at all, or do you just see the explosion?
No, you just see the explosion.
Okay.
The 2 guys oh my God, they're shooting, and leap off the edge, and then it doesn't show them pass by. It just immediately cuts to an explosion. So I think those guys got vaporized.
Yeah.
In Brainiac destroying the barn.
That's fine.
Yeah. The last thing I have is about Aquaman's origin from the comics. The version of Aquaman that appears in this episode is physically based on the Golden Age Aquaman.
Not urban at all.
In Aquaman's modern origin story, he is Arthur Curry, born the son of the Atlantean queen Atlana and lighthouse keeper Tom Curry.
Atlana. That's like if you're born in the United States, your name is
United Statesman. Yeah. Yep. Therefore, he is an heir to the Atlantean royal family. Atlana was forced to return to Atlantis, so Tom raised Arthur alone. As a child, Arthur began to show that he had inherited his mother's gifts from marine life telepathy. He then fled civilization until he was eventually brought to Atlantis by his mother's royal advisor, Volko, where, very long story short, he inherited the role of their king. In his very first, this is something I didn't know, his very first appearance in More Fun Comics number 73, November 1941, Aquaman was given superhuman strength and the ability to live underwater and communicate with marine life by his scientist father. So he was just at an experiment. His dad, I'm gonna inject you with shit and you can be Aquaman. It's not a cool thing at all. He was bitten by a radioactive fish. A later retcon, radioactive, whatever that guitarist's name is that I've forgotten already.
Trey Anastasio.
Thank you. A later retcon saw Queen Atlana instead being mystically impregnated by the immortal wizard Atlan through a dream. They can't figure out any cool names for these people.
Jesus.
Atlana's husband, King Trevis,
Travis?
knew the child.
Was that just Travis, but spelled incorrectly?
Yeah. Knew the child could not be his because of the blonde hair, a long-held superstition in Atlantean culture. So baby Aquaman was left to die on a coral reef on the outer perimeter of Atlantis, where he was raised by dolphins, renamed Swimmer by his dolphin mother, Porm. Eventually, he was taken in by lighthouse keeper Tom Curry, who gave him the name Arthur Curry, and the rest plays out relatively the same. Porm.
Pormhud.
Pormhud.com. Drazzers, I don't know. Writer Rich Fogel has stated in an interview with the Watchtower Database that when writing the episode, they looked to Marvel's Namor as inspiration for the characterization of Aquaman and Atlantis for this episode.
When you had this conversation, did you come out the gate being like, "Hey, this is like a bad episode"? What do you think about it?
We don't do that, Brian.
You could have.
Rich Fogel is a good man.
I'm not saying that he's not a good man. I am
I'm
saying
just
this
he wrote
not
a bad episode.
It's not a good episode. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Rich. I think he knows. I think he knows that. Look, Rich Fogel will write many better episodes.
Let me also say that it's like the writing feels rushed. It's not like bad, but like the setup and the pacing and the art of the episode really take it down. Really take it down to the point where like the writing becomes more suspect. And I don't think it's all the fault of the writing. If you were to give a fair synopsis of like, Lex captures Aquaman, like give me a fucking reason why and how. Not just he's in a tube, full stop.
We were just scraping tubes across the ocean and we happened to catch Aquaman and he's like, let me out of here. And we're like, nope.
I mean, that's the thing. Like you could be like, here we go, Rich. Okay. Lex is trying some like underwater percussive sound thing, which like stuns all sea life. And he happens to be swimming by and he like floats to the surface with these fish and then they catch him.
And apparently you can just like pinch him with a big claw machine claw.
Yeah.
And he'll go, ow, I'm captured. So he can just do whatever.
But that's what it's just like, how did they catch him? Why did they catch him? Why does this stuff kind of matter? It
does seem like they jumped into a part 2 or something. Like, Joe, we only got one Aquaman episode. We just do it. Yeah.
It'd be cool to have a 2-parter with this because like I think this episode would
in a different animation company.
I think it could.
That
be
really
salvaged.
is the thing. I think like it would if it was Coco or TMS or something good, it would just be like, oh, this is not great, but it's fine. Mm-hmm. But we're just constantly distracted by everything when it's one of these. Keen effects. Nothing. Hi.
Hello.
I just felt like saying hello to you in the middle of the podcast that we're recording all at the same time.
No
this
reason.
Is the Jordan Blumen Musical Minute segment.
Hey, music.
We're just saying hi to Jordan here on the podcast.
Jordan.
It's a fish story music. Here it is.
Now over to the Musical Minute featuring me, who just walked up a bunch of stairs. The opening music was described in the closed captions as mellow, and I agree. It was very nice. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked that they cut the music out when we go to the aquarium, and we just get to hear like dolphins doing stuff, and like water bubbling, and Jimmy's camera. I thought that was cool. I really liked the music when the shark is like carrying Lois to safety, because it kind of is like the sort of minor chord brass, notes and all these low woodwinds. It kind of felt like something that John Williams would write. Like it didn't really sound like the Wet Bandits theme, but it kind of has that same vibe where John Williams will occasionally write something that's like a scary thing, but you're not meant to take it very seriously. You're like actually meant to be scared by it. I don't know how to describe that any better, but the show consistently, the music in this show consistently shows like John Williams isms, and I think this is one of them. The Atlantean army arrival theme also kind of flows with that. It's very cool, very big fanfare stuff, very dramatic and intimidating. I thought that was really cool. Never apologize for loving your fandom and try to stay optimistic.
We can always, thank you, Jordan. We can always count on the music to still be pretty much good no matter what we thought of the episode regardless, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's I hadn't really, until now that we're almost done with Superman, I hadn't really made the connection of like, oh, the Batman music is very Danny Elfman-y because he did the Batman movie music. And now the Superman music is very John Williams-y because he did the Superman movie music. It makes sense they'd try to do very similar stuff.
And the Batman Beyond music is totally all that, like,
It's
late
Static
90s,
X
early
because of the
2000s.
Static X movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, they came out around the time. It reminded me, though, like, sort of speaking of Jaws, how we had that moment where Jimmy is, like, falling off the boat in a very Jaws fashion, like you expected to see a shark at the end of it, chomping away. And then he's underwater for a good 30 seconds, and then the boat just reels back into place, and he's like, "Oh, phew! I'm wet now." Like that's his entire worry. Like, no,
I know, and like he just like slid himself or swam or whatever. Like he didn't float; he went down into the water, and then when the boat comes up, he's just holding on to the back of it.
He's like
he was just like well, I'm just going down with the ship. This is where I die. I'm gonna hold on to this railing.
Planning on doing that. Yeah,
that's it.
We'll just make fun of the episode more.
No future for Jimmy. Oh, let's unmake fun of the episode. Great music. Okay.
Great music, I guess. We weren't paying attention to it. Thanks, Jordan, for paying attention to it for us.
You're the best.
That's why you're here.
I mean, it's kind of funny because we so didn't pay attention to it over the first all of the podcast that Jordan's just like cracks knuckles, you know.
Yeah, I got this.
Let
me catch everybody up on 164 episodes.
God, what a legend.
Superman's powers. He didn't have anything new or we knew weaknesses. Unless you want to add to like his flight as he has little like, flappy feet or something, but I don't think we need to do that.
No, not worth it.
We already have
not worth commemorating.
No, we already have OxyCling holding his breath a long time. He must also have like a large lung capacity or something because multiple times he goes like underwater, and he's still underwater for a really long time.
Yeah, so, that bit where he just like opens his mouth to gasp underwater, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Keep that thing closed.
Oh shit! I forgot. I forgot. I can't do that.
And that's the end of Superman.
How strong Superman? 1 through 10.
The strongest thing he did was lift up a ship.
He got shot at for quite a while.
Did
he lift up a ship? When did he do that?
Very beginning of the episode when the killer whales go to sink Bibbo's ship.
The billionaire ship, Bibbo's billionaire boat.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make that the subtitle since you asked me to cut out the thing I wanted to make the subtitle.
Yeah, that's cool.
The listener will never know, and it's okay.
Jamie was being racist.
No, that's not true. Don't say this.
That
it
sounds
wasn't
like
anything to do with the urban part.
Say.
No. Yeah, I'll give him a 2.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything that we've never seen him do. He's fine. He's just whatever. And he got drilled underwater, baby. 2 eels.
Great. just for the sake of being able to do this, I'm going to give him 3-pronged trident.
Very good.
I don't want him to have that high rating, but like
very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Where's Clayface?
Bottom of the sea.
I guess so. He must be for this one. He didn't want to be anywhere near.
Ooh, maybe he's the junkyard.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's the piles of garbage.
That's cute.
The seagulls are picking him away slowly. The Balderarchy.
He's bald, I'm bald, we're all bald. But who's the baddest bald of all? It's James and Brian's final call. The Balderarchy.
Lex.
We haven't done this in so long, and yet it's just Lex Luthor again. Yeah.
Glad to have him back.
I mean, yeah, he was still one of the better parts, I guess. Just his Clancy Brown's performance is always good.
Yeah.
I'm writing Lex Luthor. Unless you want to count like the fish. Yeah, it was the eels, the fish.
Flying fish, that
did they
turtle.
really? Yeah, the turtle, the tortoise. Why? I mean, I guess all the marine life was pissed off at the start just because they were like empathetically absorbing, or empathically, I guess it was the right word, absorbing Aquaman's tube punching anger. But
oh, is that what it's supposed to be?
I guess so. Because you said, are they going to ever, figure out that every time Jimmy Olsen flashes his camera, it pisses off the things, like as if that was a plot point, and then it wasn't. Seemed like it was just a coincidental.
It was Chekhov's flashbulb until it wasn't.
Yeah, until they're like, nope, I abandoned that idea completely. I mean, it could have been still the thing setting them off in the moment, I guess. Like, oh, we don't like that, but we're extra angry right now, extra spicy walruses. So,
also, just a extra spicy walruses.
Yeah, there you go.
Cute.
We're not coming up with a subtitle that we care about, so we'll choose between ones that suck.
Nice. Okay, I love that. Yeah. Also, just semantic thing. I've never understood people who are like, there's been, with all of our trainers and these upset like sea creatures, there's been a lot of near misses. Like a near miss is a hit. If it nearly missed, it
Who
hit.
said this?
The scientist who was talking to, I think, Lois, the one who was like under Lex's thumb.
Sure. Okay.
And it's just
I don't remember him saying that, but you're right. I'm mad too.
Yeah. Like why would you near misses? No. If it nearly missed.
How can you be nearly missless? Here is the thoughts of the week with Dylan Pollard.
Hooray.
Coming up next, it's another guest appearance from our favorite visiting superhero.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Such a wet slap for a wet episode. Here it is, a fish story.
It's time for the thoughts of the week from Dylan Pollock on A Fish Story, or Superman Nukes the Whales.
Gotta nuke something!
Can we also just say DCAU predicted that whales would be destroying yachts in the future?
Yeah, okay.
Also, it's a shame Lois is sneaking around in high heels, which seem to be the loudest possible shoes for sneaking around a covert operation.
You said that same thing.
Also, there's that moment where she says, I may have stumbled onto the story of the decade, and the guy says, why so modest? Why not the century? In reality, Jimmy over the phone should have just heard gunshots over the phone, and it's like, well, that's the end of Lois. I guess the next time she'll be in the paper is going to be in the obituaries. Also, speaking of LexCorp, I so badly want them to trap Aquaman in a six-pack holder and him just be like, Lois, I can't escape. Why don't you people cut these up when you throw them away? Also, is it just me or does it feel a bit weird that they're all like, yeah, we knew there was an Aquaman. Like, it's not the first possibility of this character ever. They never mentioned him before. It had just been like if they all were like, oh, of course, the Green Lantern, he exists, sure. Okay, this is the rare time we're going to give like a time code for something. At 16:02 in this episode, it looks like Superman just forgot to put his dentures in, and I don't like it. Give my dude some teeth. I don't like this look.
Is that when
also,
he's underwater?
Luthor's guard says to Aquaman,
Probably.
you're dead meat freak. But obviously he should have said, you're fish food freak, for both alliteration and for being obvious. There could have been so many fish puns in this episode. Don't clam up, Lois. Holy mackerel, the Aquaman is real. Why so crabby, Lex? Come on, it writes itself. You know what doesn't write itself? The question of the week. James Fair's
Thank you.
If you could have telekinesis with an animal, what would be the scariest thing it could say? Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
Not what animal. It's what could be the scariest thing it would say. What would a bub say to you that could freak you out?
Well, let me tell you.
Any of the dogs, I guess. Yeah.
Let me tell you. Bubs, I've been on a nice little slew of having nightmares every night, which is like pretty cool.
Ooh, I like that.
And Bubs woke me up at like 3 a.m. just barking. Like his like alert bark at seemingly nothing.
After you were being murdered by an alien or something.
Yeah. And like there was seemingly no sound in the neighborhood. No one was like closing their car doors or opening and closing their house doors.
So him telling you he saw a ghost or something would be the
so it'd be him being like waking up yelling like, oh my God, what is that
woman
thing?
Yeah, a woman in the corner.
Yeah. So like probably something like that. You got an answer?
I would just adding on to that real quick. I've always thought it's funny in like Homeward Bound or Dr. Dolittle or whatever, where you see a dog or any animal talking. It's talking like Babe or something. It's talking in like full sentence, like a human would, like sentence structure and everything. When it's like, if Kibo was barking at something, I was like, what the fuck is his real name? If he was barking at something and you heard like his thoughts, it would probably just be like 2 or 3 words tops. guy on bike, guy on bike, like, you know, whatever, like at you, and not just, hey, Brian, would please look out the window. There is a man on a bicycle riding by our house. Like, there would not be this big
It would probably just be thing.
Yeah. So that's what you would be. That would be like night. Yeah, exactly. Thing I don't recognize. It was like the nightmare fuel thing would just be like woman, ghost, woman. You know, just like, oh fuck, please stop.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if I could communicate with like a spider or something, that would fucking suck.
Why?
Because it would either tell me about like wrapping up its lunch in a horrific poison manner, or it would just be like sitting in a corner of my room that I can't see, and I would just hear it being like, I'm watching you. I'm here in the room. I see you. And I'd be like, fuck, where? I won't tell. So I wouldn't like that, is what I'm saying. Because I've so far today found 3 like baby daddy long legs just like hanging out in corners of rooms. And I'm like, no, that's not where you live.
What is a baby daddy long leg?
A baby daddy long leg. It's what you think it is. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Was this episode
books or hip hop?
Books.
Books or hip hop?
Just say one. I don't know.
I think books.
Books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. A driving manual that Jimmy Olsen clearly didn't read.
Yeah.
Is what it is. We are not putting this on the top 10 for Superman the Animated Series.
No.
Does it deserve bottom Fasake 79?
Yeah.
That'll bring us to 20 total episodes.
Yay.
This was not one that, to me anyway, made us like mad about how bad it was. It was just very disappointing, I guess.
Disappointing.
Yeah. Oh God.
Well, I mean, if you don't think, Thank you. If you don't think it belongs on there, then like that's fine. It was very bad.
I don't know.
Though.
I can't decide, honestly.
Well,
I'm comparing it to. I feel like we're being a little too liberal with our bottoming.
Okay.
Because I think like when we started adding to this in the first place, it was stuff like Prophecy of Doom, Cat Scratch Fever, ones that were like standing out as like, holy shit, like what the fuck happened? This was laughably bad. We were losing our minds.
We were laughing at this, to be fair.
Yeah, but not, I don't know. And I think that was the other thing we discussed when we were putting Superman's Pal on there, which was the last Superman episode we watched, was the same concept of like, we've come so far. We've come when the watch bling blings at us. And we're just like, you know, this episode was bad, but we're used to bad episodes now. But then when it's like, I don't know, I feel like it just needs to be worse than this to be on this list to me.
Well, since it has to be what's
unanimous?
Yeah, unanimous
for Aquaman.
Then let's not. Let's just agree that it sucked.
Okay. Sorry, Rich Fogel. Now we go to the mail, see what other people thought of Aquaman. We come back, we tell Brian the name of the next episode, We Do It. We only have 4 episodes of Superman left, so you'll be happy to hear that.
I will.
And 2 of them are the 2-part finale, so it's like we have 3 kind of.
Wait, the 2-part finale?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the last produced one.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay.
Oh, I did mention I was going to, real quick, I'll toss this. I mentioned I was going to talk about, like, because you said, just keep throwing in superheroes, the show. We don't know what to do with the show or whatever. They were leading up to the Justice League at the end of Superman here. They're like, we're going to do Justice League. And then the show ended.
Oh, not spoilers. Okay.
Yeah. So it was Alan Burnett. When we talked to him years ago, he mentioned this about like, yeah, I mean, the intention was like we were going to slowly but surely introduce like another superhero, and then the Justice League would form. And then Kids WB or whatever is like, nah, it's enough episodes. Thank you.
I think
they just didn't do that.
Except for the Flash. Very few of these. No, none of these. Except for the Flash. None of these, I think, are good introductions.
Batman, he doesn't really count. He had his own entire show.
That was on That was on the Batman Superman thing. Happened on Batman, right?
No, it was on Superman.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
We've had Flash, Dr. Fate, Batman, Green Lantern, and Aquaman.
Yeah.
Aquaman.
But like famously, Green Lantern and Aquaman, not good. Not good introductions.
Right.
And the most recent too.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember. I think we thought Hand of Fate was fine. I don't think it was like this is really bad or this is really good. It was just one of the episodes. I don't think it's on either of our top 10.
It's on neither of our lists. Yeah.
Okay, now mail.
That yacht had one small extra yacht put it over.
We drop
What we drop?
our weekly yacht.
Oh, yeah, those.
Into the comment box. Bubs! There sure was a lot.
Now
Bubs
Jamie's
is mad.
Too bad we're all.
At least I am.
Just Dylan Paula.
For today, we are all Vits.
We're all Vits today on his birthday today. If you want to reach out to us like the Fire Hand at the end of World's Finest Part 3, which was a good episode, you can send a short-ass email, an email for your ass, or a 60-second voice message to batwagonpod@gmail.com, or leave a comment on today's episode on the Pod Tower YouTube channel or Spotify. But please don't spoil anything past this episode for Brian, like how the Justice League won't form in the next 4 episodes. Which I just chose to disclose to him.
You know, should we take the birthday thing we did earlier? Should you stretch mine out and have it also pitched down to fit the length of yours?
I think
or
I'll leave
yours up.
I think I'll leave the original how it is, but then after the closing clip of this episode, I'll play the thing you're talking about.
Hell yeah, okay.
Much like how I totally didn't add in Ham Predator chains rattling noises last episode. Those were real. Those were happening in the room with me. Of course, just like they're happening right now because he's still back there. I haven't let him out.
See him.
Yep. He's really riling around back there. He's having a grand old time. He's in a tube, actually, now. He's stuck in a tube. He just kind of got in there. We don't know how. He's just there. Off screen. He's banging in the tube. This is from Lorenzo Valdez. James Gordon 2, The Rise of Thomas Curry. That was Aquaman's dad's name that I told you if you forgot from Tribs. James Gordon and Brianiac. A while back, you read an email of mine in which I related an anecdote about a customer named James Gordon who frequented the supermarket where I worked.
Remember this?
I now present to you the sequel to that anecdote, which I've been holding off on sending you in an abundance of caution for spoilers for Brianiac. I was waiting till you guys got to Aquaman's introduction. These days, I work at a movie theater where I have a regular customer who is named Thomas Curry. Much like what happened with supermarket James Gordon, upon learning this customer's name, I got super excited and informed him that he had the same name as Aquaman's dad. He was unaware of this, unlike what I would, who would be, unlike what I would ask James Gordon if he was keeping Gotham City safe. I have not proceeded to ask Thomas how things are going at the lighthouse or whether Arthur is keeping Atlantis safe. Maybe I should finally check in with him about this matter. I'm heading into work in a few hours, so I might actually see him today. Klana forever and always, Lorenzo Valdez. You better tell him that he's Aquaman's dad every time you see him. I'm sure he thought that was really cool. He liked it.
I want a superhero name, but then I realized I kind of have an illustrator's name.
Yeah, the comic guy that Dan Reba was talking about.
Should be like should be our new intro. Is like, and with Brian Manili. No, not that Manili.
Yeah, of course, the one that you know for sure. Yeah. Lock D says 18 months after his last Evil Scheme episode, Lex Luthor is back. And this time he's going to blow up the ocean? Man, he's really been phoning it in. Hope everything is okay with him. Also, Superman used Lois's body to bash through a metal ceiling in this episode. The Astral Beast cometh. Would you rather be stuck in a ham costume, hunted by the ham predator, or stuck in a brain hallucination fighting a neo-Vietnam war? Oh boy, I think I'd be in the brain hallucination because it's not real.
Hallucination.
Yeah, and the ham predator would murder the fuck out of me because I'm a ham.
And you're ham.
So, calm down back there, Jesus. This copy paste is getting out of control. I love this new running gag, by the way. Banana Man says okay.
Okay.
So that's good. LexCorp cares, under the sea. Hey there, friend, just reaching out with what's new in the world of Lex. Sent while wearing our new sleek goon uniforms. It's the 90s probably, so we can goon as hard as we want, and that's a completely fine thing to say.
Greetings, it's LexCorp back again like a bad case of herpes. Tell me, do you ever have one of those days where you find just like a rippling-abed, blonde, absolutely cheekbone to hell Adonis, and you give him in like a little tube in an offsite, and sometimes you go over to the tube man and you tell him your problems about your life and your feelings and your drama with your family and everything going on and everything, and you just share this with a tube man, and tube man can't talk back, but you know, he gets in his little orange shirt hypothetical, orange shirt, and he understands, and he knows what you're talking about. And then all of a sudden he runs off with Lois fucking Lane, and he's commanding seagulls, and he's sinking boats, and he's going back to Atlantis to tell the fucking Snorks what your problem is. And all of a sudden, you just know that every sea turtle in the ocean knows about your relationship with your mother. Does that ever happen to you? Yeah, well, if it does, you should get on down to the Lex Aquarium. We've got dolphins. Bye.
We haven't heard from you in quite a while, Lex Corbett. Is everything okay? There could have been a real. What was that? What was that? That movie a few years ago about the woman that falls in love with the like creature from the Black Lagoon.
Shape of
guy.
Water.
Yeah, that was a pretty good movie. I don't know if you saw that.
I haven't seen it. I know the title for some reason.
Yeah, you did. Thank you. That could have happened in this. Lois stumbles upon Aquaman. Wait, you're beautiful, and then they just started going. So that's why Superman hates him at the end of the episode. This is from Lanola Cola. Tug on the Super Cape. This looks like a job for Aquaman. Time for some nautical nonsense with a fish story, aka Ocean Man by Ween, or Jimmy making Superman come won't save a sinking ship. This episode was quite ballsy with having this not be a traditional meetup and team up between Supes and Aquaman, and end on a sour note because of that trigger-happy dumbass of a ship captain. For a return to Metropolis, I was satisfied. No bullets from the Atlantean turrets or machine gun firing sounds was the only sound effects they had at the time. Till we yap again, and here's a clip from longtime internet reviewer Linkara from atop the fourth wall with a concise defense of Aquaman.
What's that? You want me to start making jokes about how useless Aquaman is? Ha 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 ha! Aquaman is the king of Atlantis, whose domain pretty much encompasses the entirety of the ocean. He owns 70% of the planet. He is super strong, super fast, and he can summon Cthulhu to eat your soul if he felt like it. The perception of Aquaman as useless is based on the Super Friends cartoon series, where Aquaman's superpower is that he owns a jet ski. I don't make fun of Aquaman.
Too late.
Brian didn't need it, but yeah. Legacy. Yopton's log 157. 4 logs remain.
Yopton's log number 157. We're back on 99.9579 WKQL 75H9er JHK Kimmy. On today's log, it's Kyle. Kyle. He introduces us to Mr. Green Lantern, a butt-naked alien that got into a traffic collision and then pulled a Jedi and turned into clothes. Later on, we get down in the dirt with the GLM. That's right, the Glim. Glib? Anyways, we get deep, talking about such matters as domestic abuse and his pal Kroger Brand Flash Thompson on how to treat your car like you treat a woman. Terribly. All that and more later. But for now, it's time for an all-time classic by MC Freeze from the hit album My Wife Married Her Doctor. I used to have nobody, but now I've got a sweaty one.
Waking up.
Oh, he did. Oh, he doesn't like Imagine Dragons. Holy shit.
This
Good
is
Lord.
the second smallest animal in the house.
The cat's smaller?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Machi's smaller than Kiba.
Kiba's small as shit. I don't think so.
Kiba's bigger than Machi.
You live with both of them. I would know.
Yeah.
Ryan Hipp, something about Abercrombie and fish.
Oh my God.
What up, my fishes? Help! Scooby-Doo! All right. It's everybody's favorite. Arthur's a freaky fish guy. And it has 2 of my favorite moments in the entire series. One is another one of those Ryan thinks it feels like The Simpsons for some reason moments. Instead of describing it, I'll just play it right now.
They're setting the last of the charges now, Mr. Luthor.
Excellent.
You gotta call off the test, now.
It's Mr. Luthor that gives the orders here.
Mind your manners. These are international waters.
He even says excellent, like Mr. Burns. It's, whoa, Nelly, whoa, man, oh my God.
Aquaman.
Yeah, here's one more.
It sounds like your assets are getting kicked.
Will you please get her out of here?
Yeah. Good stuff. The Lois Lane moments, because those were the best parts of the episode.
Those are absolutely the best parts.
I like how also when she's sneaking around, she's like listening through the door at Lex Luthor talking to Dr. Man. And then she just like hides around the corner and he walks away and leaves in a really horribly animated shot of him closing the door, I might add. And then she just hears like boom, boom, boom from like 70 stories deep below the building. And it's like Aquaman punching a tube behind a closed door dozens of stories down, and you heard that? Like, I guess he's strong or whatever.
Not only did she hear that, she thought it was a good idea to investigate on her own.
Yeah, go all the way down there. Yeah, it should have like faded to like 12 days later as she reaches the door or whatever. Like, it's so far away. But just like anyone could have heard that was like working at the aquarium or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there like a guy in the tube down there or something?
Sounds
no, why would you say
like
this?
an underwater man beating on the inside of a tube?
Yeah.
What is that?
Sounds like the Ham Predator. Last first, we have Mark Aquino, A Fish Story. Me, yay, an STAS episode. Brian, not an STAS episode.
Yeah.
Congrats, Brian. You have officially reached the status of person who doesn't like anything DC if it doesn't include Batman. It's not a very exclusive club.
Hell yeah.
In fact, it's kind of basic. Hate to break it to you, Brian, but in this case, you're basic. Sorry. Still love you, though.
That's okay. I don't care if it's basic. It is the right opinion to have.
At the moment, anyway. Yeah. But that won't stop me, because I liked this episode quite a bit. Of course, this introduces Aquaman, who's voiced by Miguel Ferrer, who previously voiced Weather Wizard, as I'm sure James will point out. But it's weird. At first, I didn't recognize his voice. It sounded more like a guy who would have done voiceovers for movie trailers. Yeah, I can hear that. Mm-hmm. Imagine when he and Lois were tied up in the truck together and she asks him what's going on. His reply starts with, "In a world." The motorcycle chase was pretty good, and all the underwater action was interesting. Pretty sure I'm not the only one who was confused by how Aquaman can summon seagulls. Yeah, they spend a lot of time near water, but they're still birds, so they still count towards aquatic life. Sure, let's go with that. Boss biggest bear hugs to the #1 podcast hosts in this here multiverse of ours, Jim Varney and Basic. Praise to our Lord and Savior, Dylan Pollack. That's your name, I guess. Brother,
you know what's
Basic.
cool? You know what's cool? I
Yeah.
feel like I've got vetoing powers as being a co-host of this podcast.
Yeah,
so
we don't have to fucking read Mark Aquino.
Maybe it's just the last Mark Aquino. That's
oh my God, the
fine.
last first. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, it was
all
nice
good.
hearing from you. No. Likewise, all his loyal disciples, all the names, all the awesome sauce listeners of this Yoppie community of ours, y'all the absolute best. Don't you ever forget that. I don't see how Brian should dislike this one. Aquaman's motivations fall under the poison ivy category of their methods are extreme, but they're still in the right. Brian always sticks up for characters like that. Stick up for it, Brian. Stick up for it.
No.
Till next week, big old whoosh. I just flew away, baby. No.
Really trying to justify that one, I feel.
But
like,
global warming or something.
It's like, of course, like, you know, don't pollute the things. That's
Aquaman
cool.
wasn't as sexy, I guess.
It's just a bad episode.
And the problem is,
That's
Poison
all.
Ivy was usually in good episodes. All right. Yeah, like I said, we only have 4 Supermans left. Next episode is a Batman Beyond episode. It is called Disappearing Inque, otherwise pronounced as Disappearing Inque.
I saw that.
What do you think's going to happen in this?
Inque is going to get a hold of the Terry's Batman's suit technology and be able to go invisible.
Oh, I see. Because of the disappearing part. You would think that out of the 2 words that you know.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
So there.
Just say Inque's in the episode, get some points on.
No way.
Inque, you want a second shot at what Inque's doing? It's adjacent ding sound effect to the plot of the second Clayface episode, if that helps you. And I don't mean Feet of Clay Part 2. I mean the second one.
Fuck.
The second one.
What was that?
Mudslide, where he died.
Yeah, which fucking time?
Yeah, true. Where he died the first time. Yeah.
No, I guess I can't. But
what's happening to Clayface in this episode?
Terry's got one of those old like the quills,
pencils.
like the writing quills, and like sucks up ink.
He sucks her up in there.
Yeah.
Last episode, the first Ink episode, she's like open wide and tries to just like suffocate him with her being. This time he's going to say open wide and suck her into a pen.
Yeah. Just that. Just that.
Ink gets sucked into a pen. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the show, everybody. Please give us a follow or subscribe wherever you may be listening to this. Please leave us a 5-star review on your podcatcher of choice. You'll damn well hear it read on the show. Thank you to everyone listed in the description for their musical themes and help in making this Yoppie as podcast as it can be. You go check out their stuff, okay? And thank you, of course, to you, the listener, for listening. We'll catch you next week for Disappearing Ink.
We're going to catch you in a pen.
Aquaman's not in that episode, so it's going to be better, I guess. Yeah.
Probably.
It's not animated by Group Tech, Co. Ltd. And Jade Animation, so off to a good start.
The get-go. I'm okay with this.
If I had told you that prior to this episode we just watched, would you have been going into it more like, okay, this is going to be a rock and roll time of how stupid and bad?
No.
Because I didn't tell you that, so you were just like, well, maybe it's a Superman, whatever. I don't care about this show.
I think the only one that you could say that I would be like, oh no, would be La Pizza Azul.
Okay. Or ACOM. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, or ACOM.
This is approaching ACOM, I think.
It's been a while since I've seen some ACOM, but I'd say this is maybe surpassing.
I think if we watched an ACOM episode again, you'd disagree with yourself.
It just might be the time in between.
Yeah. Like a week from now, we podcast again. Podcast. Bye. Let's go play Helldivers.
Okay. Thanks for listening, listener. See you on Helldivers.
Aquaman.
Tell the surface dwellers to respect the sovereignty of my seas, or we'll return and finish what we've started. We'll be watching.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vince.
Happy birthday to you. Jump on the Bat-Wagon is hosted and edited by yours truly, James Strecker, and co-hosted by yours Briley, Brian Maneely. This podcast is brought to you by the Watchtower Database, your one-stop shop for all things DC Animated Universe. To send us a Yoppie beverage, nab some sick show merch, or support us on Patreon, you can visit the links in today's show notes. And thank you very much. Please leave us a 5-star review on your app of choice and follow us wherever you listen to never miss a new show. And we'll see you next episode, same PP time, same poo-poo channel.